It is Tuesday, the 23rd of July, 2024, and today we learn that finally it's happened. Sleepy Joe has stepped aside, and there are now calls for Kamala to engage protocols so that she can formally become president early. And let me tell you, no mistake in the timing, no mistake whatsoever. So it's a bit muddy there. So anyway, we all knew, didn't we? We all knew that it was going to happen. It would only be a matter of time before Sleepy Joe stepped aside. And you know, whether he's one of three people, certainly one of two, is neither here nor there. Everything is an illusion, including the Trump stuff. I mean, I don't know what you make of the attempt, or alleged attempt on his life, but all part of the show, if you ask me. All part of the show. Obviously, he was talking about ending, or certainly entering negotiations to stop the crap in Ukraine. Now he's vowing his unconditional support for Zelensky. So that's certainly a big flip on what we were led to be believing. So really, it doesn't really matter who gets in. Anyway, I want to talk about a chap that I've recently met through work, and I will call him Dex. That's not his full name, but I'm going to keep him anonymous. He's a Christian chap, and I've got no problems with, mixing or being friends with Christian people. I just don't follow it myself. But anyway, he's fully awake, completely awake. He knows exactly what's going on, and we had a brief conversation whilst he was having some work done on his car, whilst he was at work. And he has a very interesting job. Not that I know very much about it, but he works for probably the most unsuspecting place that you'd expect a person that's actually awake to work for. But nevertheless, he works in the backgrounds of that and not actually on the front line, shall we say. And it's not military. Anyway, we were talking about, what I know, and he was sharing what he knew. And very interesting conversation, because that's how I worked out that he was fully aware of what was going on. Anyway, during that conversation on the phone, he was like, how are we going to stop it? People don't understand that we're fighting against pure evil and this, that and the other, and there's just not enough people awake. And, how do you fight something of this magnitude? And I can understand, sorry, brambles everywhere. I can understand his pessimism. I really can. Because there have been days where I felt extremely pessimistic and down and out about what the future actually holds. But anyway, he had to have some work on his vehicle done, and then his partner had to have some work on her vehicle done. Anyway, he came to, fucking hell, see this pathway. It's not really being very well maintained. Probably no accident. But anyway, it's hardly the Amazon rainforest, so I'll get through. So anyway, he came to pick it up, the car, and we were talking about things, and he said, so what's what's the solution here? He said, you seem to think that we can pull through. And he's like, the CBDC and the digital IDs and it's all inevitable, he was saying. It's all completely and utterly inevitable. And he said once that system is in place, then we're screwed. So, what's the solution? And I said, well, the solution's pretty simple. We've got to continue to raise awareness and continue to wake people up. Because once everyone knows, it's kind of game over, because we are the many. It doesn't matter whether they bring in the army, the police, or whoever. We are the many, and they are but the few. And he was like, all right. And I said, and we have to make them aware of, the banking families, the oil families, and their absolute throttle on government there. We have to make them aware that they are behind institutions such as the Whiskey Echo Foxtrot, nearly said it. We have to let them know that we've been infiltrated, or the politicians that are supposed to serve us have been infiltrated. And that's how, sorry, I'm just getting these sticky things off me, they're a pain. That's how we do it. And once everyone knows, we have to remove those who don't serve the public like they're supposed to, because we pay their wages. We need to refuse to go along with it. We have to point blank refuse digital ID and digital currency, because if you look at the events of Friday last week, the internet went down and everything happened. And of course this has all been pre-predicted by Mr. Schwab at the Whiskey Echo Foxtrot, hasn't it? He said a pandemic of internet cyber attacks. And he said, but their grip is too strong. And I was like, no. I said, what we need is a bank which is owned by the people, which works and removes the privately owned central banking system, the fiat currency system, and we say to the people that own that system, i.e. Red Shields, that enough is enough. Your debt does not exist. It is fiat currency. It is created from nothing. This fiat debt is created from nothing. Therefore, we owe you nothing. It is illusory. And then once we take the bank back, we bring that into the people's ownership, where the people benefit from any sort of windfalls or profits that it makes. Okay? And then we can write our own legislation to say that no, never again will the Red Shields, which is obviously their name in German, have any influence on our political system anywhere around the world. And they should be arrested and tried for their crimes against humanity, whether it be with regards to Divuk 91, or whether it's with regards to all the wars that they've had their sticky little fingers in, or anything else like that. And that, I believe, is the only way that we will actually prevail from this, and push back against this digital prison that is slowly being raised around us. Because let me tell you, Dex knows about acts and statutes, and he knows about the law of the land and common law, and he knows about the legal fiction, the entity of which you are sold to, that you give up ownership to, when you register. Yeah, he knows all about it. And ironically, he works in an institution where those people actually enforce, although he works in the back offices, big operations apparently. And I said to him, this is our only way. We've got to raise awareness, and we've got to have some belief that we will win. That is our only way out. So thought I'd share that with you, and I suppose we just sit back, pop open the popcorn, and watch the show as it unravels for us in America, like it did here. You know, how did somebody with such a great majority like Reform not get in? Well, it's because of our skewed political system and the way the voting works. Yeah, you got enough seats in the House, you don't need that many votes. Yeah, if you got no seats in the House, you need lots of votes in order to just gain some seats. And it's a similar sort of situation in America, just set up very slightly differently. So, well, if any of you think that Trump is going to bring any difference, I'm afraid you're wrong. But I think if Harris gets in, I mean, there was a video clip of her talking about the old Depop, and how when people see it's a good thing, it'll make a better world for everyone else. Really, probably not those that are being depopped, huh? But anyway, nice to see you all, and I'll see you in the next one.